Is checking Instagram or Twitter frequently a mistake? Do you think you could sustain a ton of effort among these platforms? Probably not. Personally, I can navigate through Instagram. Even though I've seen a lot on the platform, I can refresh it a few times. Why is it so easy to scroll through social media or dive into a game rather than working on a report due soon or studying for an upcoming exam? When it comes to activities like reading or writing, focus is required. You may not realize that you are not able to focus, distance yourself, or even get tired in these activities. You are aware that the right thing is hidden in finishing the task related to your job or studying for an exam, but spending hours in another universe brings pleasure seems more attractive. Yes, it's a bit of a personal topic. We're getting critical here. Can we really deceive our brains into not wanting to do things we don't like? Have you ever wondered about the secret of other people's productivity or how they manage to achieve their goals? Have there been moments when your courage crumbled to rescue others from their goals? Or when you're still struggling with the third episode of your license you started 2 months ago? Serious pressure can hinder our work or configuration. And there are times when we just don't want to do anything. Yet, even in this mindset, we can easily browse social media or start a series on Netflix with comfort and pleasure. Why? To find the answer, it's beneficial to take a look at our processing center, our brain. Remember, whoever controls your brain rules your life. Unfortunately, our brains don't make being productive easy. The brain's job is to protect itself by following the path of least resistance and risk. That's why scrolling through Instagram seems more reasonable and enjoyable than starting a challenging math test. The brain prefers the path with the least resistance and risk. Can we really trick our brains into not wanting to do things we don't like? Have you ever wondered about the secret of other people's productivity or how they manage to achieve their goals? Have there been moments when your courage crumbled to rescue others from their goals? Or when you're still struggling with the third episode of your license that you started 2 months ago? Serious pressure can hinder our work or configuration. And there are times when we just don't want to do anything. Yet, even in this mindset, we can easily browse social media or start a series on Netflix with comfort and pleasure. Why? Now that we've identified the problem and outlined the general structure of our brain, let's talk about how to make the actual makeup possible. Making boring tasks more enjoyable is key. There are several strategies to make even the seemingly boring tasks enjoyable and trick your brain into being productive. However, we need to dig a little deeper. Firstly, it's essential to learn how our brains work. Our brains are constantly chasing patterns. It feels happy when rewarded, and when happy, the work done doesn't seem boring. Using social media becomes equivalent to receiving a simple like for our brain, and it releases dopamine accordingly. Numerous examples of this can be found in experiments conducted on mice and monkeys. In one popular mouse experiment, electrodes were implanted in the mice's brains, and pulling a lever increased the release of dopamine. The mice enjoyed pulling the lever, forgetting even to drink when they were rewarded. However, when the release of dopamine was inhibited, the test mice no longer wanted to do anything and even stopped eating and drinking. In another experiment, elevated monkeys were given spinach, and an increase in dopamine was observed. Then the amount was increased, and instead of spinach, fruit juice was given. As the reward increased, the dopamine levels in the monkeys increased even more. The experiment continued, and the monkeys were no longer given fruit juice, but spinach again. After that, the monkeys matured, and to get them to adapt to the juice again, they initially refused to eat spinach and threw it to the caregivers. This experiment illustrates how our brains work in terms of filtering and the formation of neural pathways.